co-author, but instead of who are giving the best manuscript for the author position. If I'm as the author for one research paper publication, I give us a star ratings for the author position as a one. If I'm as a second author, co-author for that research paper, I give a two manuscript as a two stars for my author position. So this is the manuscript for the author position. If you working as a first author for a paper, have to entering as a star level as a one. If you are working as a co-author for one research paper, entering the information as a star level 2. So this is the preference for the author and co-author. If you are as a only one author, there is no any other star valuations for your research paper. As a one author, there is no star value. If there is a two authors means only we have to include a two stars. So this is the first stage for preparation of a research paper. So on this one, if I just entered a title as a digital marketing developed with the AI. For example, if I'm using the title in the 2000 or 2010, this you study in marketing of A company or B company from this this to this. I'm just using this title. At present, the AI can be impact on not only a computer science with additional of the commerce management with other all the streams. So I'm using the title as a digital marketing development with AI. Instead of if I'm using means a study on development of a digital marketing with the AI. This is the title under the stream whatever you are using for the research paper preparation. So abstract. Um, so anyone can answer who or how many lines will be preferable for your research paper abstract preparation? Yeah, basic information is what how many lines can be preferable for preparation of one abstract. Anyone can answer to this question, please. Can Anshika ma'am? So okay, I will inform to this one. The abstract preparation minimum of 6 to 7 lines. A small introduction of your overall paper. If you say in course journal research paper means the 7 pages of whole content will be considered on your abstract from the introduction, scope, objectives, limitations, review of literature, statement of the problem, research methodology, findings, suggestion, conclusions, all this can be considered one of included abstract that can be considered like 6 to 7 minimum. Keywords people can give a keywords like 7 to 8 or 9 keywords, but minimum of hint for a research paper in the keywords is a 5 only. I give an example to that one is a marketing AI number of response and tool for analysis. In this 5 hints, we have to use the repeated word like I'm using the marketing for my research. So that is one. one. If I using the AI information means I have to included that one. So these two considerations and two concepts can be merged into one keywords. The next one is number of respondents. So if I'm collecting 50 or 100 respondents for my research paper, I have to include on the research abstract keywords only. And the next one is the tools for analysis. If I'm using a HR paper means I have to use a choice test I have prepared for collecting the analysis to my research paper. So these tools will be included on my research paper. So abstract and the keywords can be considered as a minimum 6 to 7 lines for a whole content can be considered as a minimum head hint point for a research paper preparations like tools of the research paper, stream of the research paper, marketing. It can be consideration of specialization and the what are all or who are all the persons has been informed in the label as a respondents. So this will be consideration on this word. And the next one is introduction. So in the introduction part, we have to know about what will be the first basic starting midpoint. The midpoint can be consideration on this one is like what is the basic early stage of the research problem. If I'm choosing the digital marketing or if I'm choosing the human resource management to my research paper title is whenever it can be started on the human resource as a basic level of concept, I have to use it on the introduction. And I have to till end of the introduction, I have to update what is the present situation for the HRM. So it can be as on a first to starting of an area to the ending of an area, not included of any calculations as a yearly wise. We have to just included as the content wise in the English formation of sentence. So that is your introduction part for the research paper writing. So the next one is the objectives of the study. Most of the peoples are using like to certain to prepare, but instead that is a not regulatory one. These 4 points can be as an example for preparation of the objectives of the study. First of all, the objectives can be consideration as an aims for a research paper. Why we are writing this research paper? It can be as the main aim for the researcher. So the objectives can be considerations in to know about or to study about, to examine, to evaluate. If I'm preparing or any one of the participants of today's program preparing a research paper means first of all we have to give as objectives is to know. I have to know about this one. So the first stage is the second stage is to study about this one. I have to know and I have to fully prepare informations about this research paper. So to study, to examine. If I am studied about that research paper, I have to give one examples to that one. After that, it can be completed or it can be have a conclusion means I have to give us an evaluate. So to know, to study, to examine, and to evaluate the manuscript of a main main hint for the research papers. So this will be consideration for the objectives of the study, and it can be considerations in the we have to implement the clarity information about to evaluate. And if we are focusing is on a time bounding means to examine. This time will be consideration for examine to examine about my research paper publications, and it can be consideration as to know about is the realistic information, not as on a theoretical information, as a practical information we have to include it on this one. So this will be the main informations for the objectives of the study. And the next one is the scope of the study. So it can be considerations with the present, with the future. It means why, what, where, when. This consideration we are using for our research paper is it means why the people have doing this one. the product is satisfied or not satisfied for that one, we are included on our research paper scope of the study in the title. So why they are not included? And next one is what are all the assumptions provided by the people, and it can be collected from where? Why we have to change it from the here to that one? So this five WH is consideration for the scope of the study. Whenever it can be consideration as the first stage means we have to focus why the peoples are not satisfied on this one, on our research scope of the study. And the second one can be considerations. What are all the considerations? Sorry. What are all the considerations can be preferable for the product or the research development? And wherever the people it can be applicable. And whenever the time it can be considerations. If I am preparing my research paper, I have to give one my details for a minimum of 6 months. I have collected this data from this year to this year. I have used this information from this year to this year. So whenever the periodical time, how we are using that one is the when when category of scope. So this 5W which has been con- included with the communicated for the scope of the study. So the next main point is review of literature. So the review of literature, who are all can be given? Sir, I am just preparing a research paper, but not included of, but not included of review of literature. I'm just using the theoretical information. If any other people can say, sir, I'm using a review of literature, how many review of literature can be preferable for your research paper? It means using for the research paper for your research title. Amrita ma'am. Okay ma'am. Minimum of this one and maximum we have to use as an 20 to 25 review of literature with the reference also. Because in the recent years will be attracted one, but we have to focus it as on recent with moreover past years of, like review of literature is a 15 to 20 years more attractive. Like 1992 the present means how many review of literature can be allocated or evaluated, but we have to focusing as on a basic structure for the information whatever we are needed for our research title. So that can be that can be concept in the basics of review of literature. So some of the other people can say research title can be consideration on this one. So we have to focus as a review of literature with additional of basic informations what are all have been included on the previous year. So that is included. Sorry. So that is has been included with the most informative speculative ideas with most informative titles of research publishers. So next one is a statement of the problem. So why we are using this title? Because in the recent years, so many people have visualization about the AI generated research papers related to commerce, management, or any other things. But instead of that statement of the problem can be given to that particular parties, why I'm using this one on the present year, like AI, generated AI, Gemini AI, or industrial Internet of Things like IIoT or Internet of Things IoT, deep learning, machine learning. It can be have a most impact in high growth or as a minimum of people using on the online platform. So this can be consideration for the statement of the problem. Instead, if I'm using a HRM basis, means the people willingness for the company management side, what are all the circumstances. So I'm focusing on that one. If I'm using the finance, means I have to use this statement will be using for this one, this year to this year. So this will be the circumstances more informative level for the online platforms to the financial statement analysis. So this will be I have included on the statement of the problem. It can be consideration whether the research analysis or the research titles. So these two will be consideration for that one. And whenever the place we are using for that one, giving with some examples. So and the next one is research methodology. So the research methodology means on my research title, I will give some of the examples. If I'm using the research methodology, I have to use as a first important segment is research paper preparation. Instead, this five headings or four headings can be included for the research paper preparations. First one is the research design. The research design can be concluded in the sentence. I have used the research in the basic formation of research methodology. This consideration will be most important for the research paper preparations. I have used this research paper title with the conclusion, all the basic formations of a research methodology heading with the paper, basic astronomy of uh, concept. So this will be included in your research design. And we have to focus on next one as a sample size. The sample size can be consideration as a number of respondents for our research paper, like 120 to 150 number of respondents or any other circumstance has been included on that one, like 250 respondents to 20 respondents. So the number of respondents can be consideration as a sample size for a research paper. And the third one is tools used. So in manuscript, if we are focusing as a marketing stream, means like overall percentage score. If we are using the finance, means SPSS and AMOS. If we are focusing as on HR, means choice test and simple percentage analysis. So these types of variations can be or as a specializations can be included on the research paper as the name is the tools used. And the next one is the period of study. The minimum period for a research paper study is 6 months. From data collection to the research paper title, framing work, and preparation of the research work, and we have to include the uh, and we have to include the uh, basic attestation, whatever we have collected from the number of respondents or the name of the respondents. We have to include it on that one, like minimum of 6 months to maximum of 7 months. The minimum basic research is a minimum of 3 to 6 months or maximum of 6 to 7 months. We have to include it that I have used this date to this date, like first is January 2025 to first July 2025. So this is the period of study. Minimum of 6 months we have collected the data as a period of study to the research paper. So that the hypothesis. So who are all know about the hypothesis? Like null hypothesis or alternative hypothesis. The null hypothesis can be conclusion basis of there is no different significance for the research paper preparation. That is conclusion in the null hypothesis as a H naught. If there is any significance difference between two variables, means it can be consideration as H1. Every research paper prepared by a researcher, you have to included this one as like of H0, H1 hypothesis is a null hypothesis or alternative hypothesis. We have to concluded on that one. So on the research design, I have said that it can be included on this slide. The research paper from the bottom to top to bottom, which with the including of the data analysis. The including of the data analysis can be consideration as research tools used and sample size whatever we have been included on the research title. So these two considerations will be included on the top of the research methodology in the level of research design. So the sample size, if we are collecting as a 120, 150 respondents is a secondary one. We have to focus first one is number of population on a specific area or the particular number of people survey for each study. If I'm collecting the data from Coimbatore means I have to focus number of sorry, number of population on a specific area as a particular area, and I have to choose the number of respondents like 150 to 120. If I'm using in the Coimbatore city as on like Gandhipuram or any other places, I have to use that area. On that particular area, I have to use the number of respondents like 120 to 150 for the survey used using for the research paper preparations. So this is a example for the research tools using for the research paper title. If you are using the marketing statements, this is the easiest information for the research paper to using for the tools. Chi-square test over percentage score. This two consideration will be using as a tool for the marketing stream. These two tools and over simple percentage analysis or any other predicting can be completed for the marketing. Next one is a HRM. Simple percentage analysis. It can be consideration as HRM is a easy paper for the researcher to prepare the content and collecting the data from the peoples. And the chi-square can be representation as calculation of percentage for the researchers who are all collected as on the basics of satisfied with non-satisfied of information. So this will be included in the HRM. The last one is the highest one, like of SPSS and choice cases. The compare it can be concluded on the comparison or the balance sheet followed. So these two consideration will be used mostly useful for the finance. So next one is period of study. So the minimum research analysis is 3 months and the maximum is 6 months, just included. So the 3 months can be included as a paper research title framing work, title of the sorry abstract keywords, introduction of the study, scope of the study, the review of literature, research methodology, statement of the problem. So these are all can be included on the period of study, and we have to complete it within minimum of 3 months, like collecting the data analysis and analyzing the part of data. So this can be conclusions or it can be concluded on your research period of study, minimum of research analysis. Um, so who are all no? Sir, I have know about this alternative hypothesis, null hypothesis. I am used to this theoretical information to my research paper. Who will be having this information about the hypothesis? Sir, I am using the basic information like hypothesis as a null or alternative using for my every research paper. So the hypothesis can be consideration on two categories. The first one is a null hypothesis, a H naught, and the alternative hypothesis is consideration of H1. So these two can be consideration as a H naught null hypothesis. There is no significant of difference between both the research whatever we have been included, like satisfied with the non-satisfied of respondents. If there is any if there is any circumstance of changes or any other information included on the findings or suggestions, it can be consideration as an alternative hypothesis. There is a similarity or the difference between the both information, so that can be consideration as an alternative hypothesis. So under the next two heading is the findings. So every researcher have to prepare this heading with additional information, whatever it can be framing by the researchers. I have findings this information from this area. I have findings 60 percentage of people has been satisfied on my research or the product of the research paper title, or 40 percentage of the researcher uh, respondents can be included as a non-satisfied category to the research paper title in the product level. So this consideration will be findings for this one. In every findings, we have to include three findings for every researchers as a percentage satisfied with the non-satisfied. How it can be recruiting on the findings information. So under the next one is the suggestions. So give some ideas to development of the research in the future periods with the present also. If we are focusing as on the suggestions means we have to first use the findings information. With the information of findings, we have to prepare the suggestions for the research paper. Like I have said that three findings, 60 percentage of the people says satisfied of the that product means on the first point of suggestions we have to include uh, balancing of research as a 40 percentage of respondents have to adapt it for the present AI tools or the product level satisfied or generation of product development circumstance. So that will be the findings opposite to the suggestions. Opposite means as a against of preparing the idea or suggestions for that information to develop the concept. So this will be the main recruitment for that one. And the second one I have said 40 percentage of people are recruiting the basic needs as a general level means we have to informative like this is the advanced technology of products producing in the market or any other circumstance. We have to inform that one on the changing the mind for the people. And the last one findings is the most satisfied peoples with the clarity of how the product or how does it can be informative for the researchers? It can be included in your findings that we have to give a suggestions for the other people's basic with the development of a research in the future periodical times. So the paper conclusion. If we have completed of the suggestions, we the next step for the research paper is the conclusion of preparing. So the first one is a recap main results. The recap main results means we are not include any other circumstance like one or two words. We have to include all the key headings or key points for the result. Like I'm focusing on this one from the findings and suggestions. I am using this one, so this will be the main recap result. Next one is a link back to the introduction for coherence. Whatever we are included with the included on our introduction part, we have to be prepare the conclusion on the basis of that one. As the introduction part, whatever we have included, the same similar points can be changed on the conclusion for the periodical time. As it future, the introduction can be as on a present, the conclusion can be at the future periodical time. The next one is the remind of initial research aims. Remind of initial research aims can be informative as like we have to focusing us on a change into our mind. Remind of initial research aims can be informative like preparing of the objectives to the next generation of paper providing by the other people. Have to change the research aims. So it can be included in your conclusion. Next one is highlight the importance of your findings. Just we have to include the 60 percentage of people satisfied and 40 percentage of people not satisfied. This can be included with the importance of your findings. Next one is suggest potential areas for the further exploration. So suggest potential areas means we have to include that I have focused on the customer satisfaction, but I have collected the information as a customer needed only. Customer satisfied is not included on this one. So we have to include this autonomy and information for the future basics of research paper preparations. So these are all the main headings and the subpoints for preparing a re- research paper conclusions. So on this one, importance of image or graph in a research paper is graphical level like preparation of a reference link with the graphical chart of whatever we have included. If focusing as a reference link means have to include as a minimum just a minute. Amartha Bandari ma'am. How many reference link or the reference name of a person in the researcher using for one research paper preparation by yourself to you? How many number of respondents as a reference link for your research paper included? Okay, thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for the interaction. The bibliography or the reference can be same structure in the level of review of literature. The reference can be included like what who will be the research paper preparation at which year, included of the website link whatever he have been included, like journal website link or any other personal website link like researchgate or google scholar link. We have to include it for the reference. I have collected this information from this area and I have included on this one. So this is the main script for my research paper, and I have used the graphical structure for the research paper to develop the informations like structure or the graphical method of respondents. So it can be added on the research paper at the end of section. So this will be the main informations for the researchers who are all preparing a research paper in structuring a research paper autonomy of a strong manuscript. So and thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thank you so much, sir, for sharing your insightful words.
Thank you,
I,
ma'am.
I request everyone, if you have any doubts, please unmute yourself and ask the research person. I'm requesting everyone, if you have any doubts, please unmute yourself and speak. I'm requesting everyone, please provide your valuable feedback, provided the link in the chat box. Those who provided the feedback will only get their participate certifications in your mail IDs.
Taranam, ma'am.
Yes, sir. Sir, I have a doubt.
Yes, ma'am. Please kindly ask the doubt of yours.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much. Sir, actually, I'm preparing, currently, I'm working on a research paper. I'm
Okay.
currently working as a like faculty at a college in the Department of Commerce, and I'm preparing the research paper for an upcoming seminar. So the topic
Okay.
is basically like I am trying to um, like relate MEP's contribution towards entrepreneurship development by implementing the multidisciplinary course. So in that research paper, I want to collect data from students. So I am very much confused that after collecting the data, what method should I use to analyze that? Because I want to know whether ground level implementation has been made properly or not for this. Like
Uh,
MEP has recently introduced multidisciplinary course that every student has to study those subjects as per their own preference. So entrepreneurship is one of those multidisciplinary course. So I want to see whether ground level implementation is done properly or not, and whether students are feeling more ready about being an entrepreneur in future after getting like after engaging in that multidisciplinary course. So I am just confused about the methodology I should use to analyze the data and interpret.
First of all, which set of students, like if completed students or ongoing students, of what, which type of students did you collected the data, ma'am?
The
At
students
present,
who are currently
graduating.
pursuing undergraduation.
Ma'am, I'm saying an example, but it is not. Uh, uh, For an example, I'm saying, if there is any corrections, means don't mention. Sorry. If you are focusing this research paper study, you have to collect the data from the passed out students, because I'm saying this word is
Okay.
the present situations of the students will know about only the present papers only, not the practical situations of if they are starting the business. They will know about the
Mhm.
present situation of the subject, whatever they are studying. They are not they are known about sorry they are not known about the practical life in the marketing strategy. What are all the types we have to include to develop our business in entrepreneurship, that they are that is not applicable for that present students, just we are collecting that one. So these are all the students, these are all courses provided by ourselves to the students, so we will convey this to our students. But at the present, we have to collect the information from the passed out students who are all doing the business in the entrepreneurship level or the regular basis from the family level, and industrialist peoples or the academicians of any other peoples in the other institutions. So this 2 to 3 category will be known about to ourselves, that entrepreneurship as a multidisciplinary course can be applicable for the students in the future in the label of entrepreneur or entrepreneurship.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Ma'am?
Sir,
Pardon, ma'am?
one more thing, like, hello?
Yeah. Yeah, yes, ma'am, please.
Sir, yeah, sir, I will be collecting some quantitative data. So, what method should I use to interpret? Like, I'm very much confused on that part.
I think you are started this research paper in HRM basis, ma'am. I think you have started this research in HRM basis, not included in the financial or marketing, because you are collecting the
Yeah.
information from the students, whatever they are having the ideas or thoughts from the thoughts about the entrepreneurship. You are used to this
Yes, sir.
HRM stream. I give you a suggestions like overall percentage score and chi-square test for this research data tools analysis.
Okay.
Hello, hello, ma'am.
Yes, sir. I'm listening, sir.
Ma'am, your voice is audible, but some of any other sounds can be muting your voice, ma'am. Kindly check it.
I hope it is clear now, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Now it is clear, ma'am.
Okay, sir.
Ma'am, I give you a suggestions. I have first said it to you. If you are doing this research paper, means you have to collect the data from the academicians of our institutional side from various colleges like autonomous or deemed universities. Second one, we
Yes.
have to focus as on passed out students who are all doing the business as an entrepreneur. So these two category people can give suggestions about the multidisciplinary course implementation of entrepreneurship for the students in your college. So it can be easy way to develop your research paper with informations whatever you are needed, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Those who provide their feedback, please leave the session. We'll close the session soon. Those who provided their feedbacks, please leave the session. We'll close the session.
Uh, Manisha, ma'am,
Sir.
can I leave the section?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you
Yes,
so
ma'am.
much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.